The stars look different from this side of the galaxy, Amy Foster thought as she stared out the viewport of the transport ship. She had never planned to leave Earth, but when the United Space Agency offered her a position as head of security for the first human outpost in the Andromeda sector, she could not refuse. A tall woman with short brown hair and eyes that had seen too much, Amy was not what most people expected in a security chief. At 35, she had already served 15 years in the Special Forces, but her calm demeanor often made people underestimate her. "Captain, we are approaching Vesperian space." A young officer called from the navigation console. "The alien ambassador will meet us at Outpost 7. Amy nodded. This diplomatic mission was too important to fail. Humans had only recently discovered they were not alone in the universe. The Vesperians, a highly advanced race of insectoid beings, had made contact 3 years ago, offering technology and knowledge in exchange for resources. The ship docked smoothly at the outpost, a structure built half by humans, half by Vesperians. A perfect symbol of cooperation between the species. As Amy stepped onto the station, she was greeted by Kira. The Vesperian ambassador, Kira, stood nearly 7 feet tall, her exoskeleton shimmering with blues and greens. Her forearms moved with precise grace, and her compound eyes reflected the light in fascinating patterns. "Welcome to Outpost 7, Security Chief Foster," Kira said, her voice coming through a translation device at her throat. "We are honored by your presence." Amy gave the formal bow she had been taught during her diplomatic training. "The honor is mine, Ambassador Az." They walked through the station. Amy noticed something odd. The Vesperians seemed tense, their movements quick and jerky. Not the usual fluid motions she had seen in training videos. "Is everything all right?" Ambassador Amy asked carefully. Kira hesitated, a rare thing for a Vesperian diplomat. "We have a situation that requires discretion," she finally said. "Not all my people are happy with our alliance." Amy followed Kira to a secure conference room where several human and Vesperian officials waited. A holographic display in the center showed a star map with a blinking red dot. "This is Colony Zeta 9. Kira explained. "It has gone silent 3 days ago. We lost all communication." One of the human scientists spoke up. "Could it be technical difficulties?" The Vesperian Queen Counselor chittered something that the translator rendered as a laugh. "No, our technology does not fail like yours." "The colony has been attacked." Amy leaned forward. "Attacked by whom?" "The Empress believes it is the Dravak." Kira said, her mandibles clicking with what Amy recognized as fear. "They are our ancient enemies. We have been at war with them for centuries. We hoped our alliance with humans would finally give us the advantage." Amy studied the star map. The colony was close to human space, too close for comfort if these Dravak were as dangerous as the Vesperians claimed. "Why tell me this, Kira? I am just a security chief." The Vesperian ambassador fixed all 4 of her compound eyes on Amy. "We have intelligence that the Dravak are planning to attack a human settlement next. We need your help to stop them." Back in her quarters, Amy reviewed the files Kira had given her. The Dravak were a warrior race, cold and calculating. They saw other species as either threats to eliminate or resources to exploit. According to Vesperian records, they had destroyed dozens of civilizations. A chime indicated a message on her terminal. It was from Sam Kelly, the human ambassador to the Vesperians' trust. "No one." The message read, "Not even Kira. Meet me in hydroponic section at 200. Amy checked her weapon before heading to the meeting point. Hydroponics was quiet at this hour. The only sound, the soft hum of equipment and the gentle spray of watersome, was waiting hidden among tall plants from Earth. Her face pale in the dim light. "What is going on, Sam?" Amy asked, keeping her voice low. The ambassador glanced around nervously. "The Vesperians are hiding something. I found classified communications. They know more about the Dravak than they are telling us." Before Sam could continue, a shadow moved. Among the plants, Amy reached for her weapon but stopped when she saw it was Kyrie. "I suspected you would meet," she said, her voice without translation sounding like clicks and chirps. "I did not expect betrayal from humans so soon. We are not betraying anyone," Amy said carefully. "We just want the truth." Kira seemed to consider this, then nodded. "The truth is complicated. The Dravak are not what you think. Not what we have told your people. What are they?" Then Sam demanded. Kira made a gesture Amy did not. Recognize they are us, or rather they were part of us once, a separate evolutionary branch of Vesperians who chose a different path. Me tried to process this information. You are saying the Dravak are Vesperians? Were Vesperians? Kira corrected now. They are something else. Something that wants to destroy both our species. Me felt a chill run down her spine. Why? Kira looked at Amy with all four eyes. Because your people have something they want. Something they have searched for across the stars. What could humans possibly have that such an advanced species would want? Amy asked. Kira made a sound that the translator did not catch, then simply said, "You." As the ambassador spoke, alarms began to blare throughout the station. A voice over the intercom announced that unidentified ships had entered the sector. "They are here," Kira said, her voice suddenly afraid. "They have found us." Me drew her weapon. "We need to evacuate." "No," Kira replied. "There is no time. You must come with me now." "Security Chief Foster, only you can save us all." Me looked at Sam, who nodded quickly. "Whatever is happening, we need to trust someone." As they rushed through the corridors of the station, Amy wondered what she had gotten herself into and why, of all humans, the Vesperians. And now these Dravak seemed to think she was so important. Kira led Amy and Sam through a series of hidden passages that Amy had not seen on any station schematics. The walls here were different, made of a strange crystalline material that seemed to pulse with inner light. "Where are we going?" Amy asked as they descended a spiral ramp to the heart of the station. Kira replied, "There is something you need to see, something we have kept hidden from your government." I exchanged worried glances with Sam. This mission was becoming more complicated by the minute. The station shook as something impacted against the outer hull. "The Dravak ships are attacking," Kira said, her voice urgent. "We must hurry." They entered a vast chamber, unlike anything Amy had seen before. In the center stood a massive crystal structure that reached from floor to ceiling. Pulses of energy flowed through it like blood through veins around it. Dozens of Vesperians worked at control stations, their movements frantic. "What is this place?" Sam whispered. The Queen Counselor approached them, her larger size and ornate exoskeleton marking her as one of the highest-ranking Vesperians. "This is the Nexus Human. It is our most sacred technology." I looked at the crystal structure with growing unease. "Why show us this now?" The Queen Counselor chittered something to Kira, who translated, "The Nexus is a consciousness amplifier. It connects all Vesperians across the galaxy, allowing us to share thoughts and memories, and the Dravak want it." Sam guessed. "No," the Queen Counselor responded through her own translator. "They want to destroy it because they fear what we have discovered." "And what is that?" Amy asked. "You?" The Queen said simply, "Humans have a unique genetic structure that allows for something we call quantum resonance. Your minds can connect to the Nexus in ways even we cannot." Amy frowned skeptically. "I don't understand. The Vesperians have been studying humans secretly." Kira explained. "We discovered that rare humans possess a genetic marker that enables them to interface with the Nexus at unprecedented levels. You, Amy Foster, are one of those humans." Amy felt suddenly cold. "You experimented on humans without consent. It was necessary," the Queen Counselor said without apology. "The Dravak seek to eliminate all humans with this ability. Before we can form a true alliance, they fear what we could become together." Another explosion rocked the station closer. This time, emergency lights began to flash. "We are out of time," Kira said. "The Dravak have breached the outer defenses. They will reach the Nexus chamber soon." "What do you want from me?" Amy demanded. The Queen Counselor stepped forward. "We need you to connect to the Nexus. Your mind could strengthen our defenses long enough for reinforcements to arrive." "Absolutely not," Sam interrupted. "We need to contact Earth Command first. This is beyond our authority." "There is no time," Kira insisted. "If the Dravak destroy the Nexus, all Vesperian colonies will be cut off from each other. Our civilization will collapse." Amy considered her options. She had been sent here to protect human interests, but if the Vesperians were telling the truth, the Dravak posed a threat to both species. "How do I connect to this Nexus?" she asked, ignoring Sam's shocked expression. Kira led Amy to a smaller crystal formation near the main structure. "Place your hands here," she instructed, "and clear your mind." "This is a bad idea," Sam warned. Me took a deep breath. Sometimes the only way forward is through. She placed her hands on the crystal. Instantly her consciousness expanded beyond her body. She could feel the minds of every Vesperian on the station, their thoughts and emotions washing over her like waves. She could also sense the Dravak, their minds cold and focused, filled with determination, and something else, something that felt like fear. Amy pushed her awareness outward. Following the connections of the Nexus, she could see Vesperian colonies across the galaxy, millions of minds linked together in a vast network, and at the edges, she felt other humans, those with the same genetic marker as her, unaware of their potential. The station shook violently. Amy felt the impact as if it were against her own body. The Dravak were breaking through the final defenses. Suddenly she understood why they were attacking, why they feared this connection with each small group of minds that joined the Nexus. Its power grew exponentially. If humans and Vesperians fully joined together, they would create something new, something unstoppable. Amy focused her thoughts, directing the energy of the Nexus toward the station's shields. She could feel the Dravak ships pressing against them. Seeking weaknesses, shield breached in Section 7. A Vesperian technician called out to me, felt the Dravak soldiers entering the station there. Minds focused on a single goal: reach the Nexus, destroy it. Kill any humans with the genetic marker. Amy, we need to leave. Sam shouted, grabbing her arm. Amy could not break the connection, she was too deep. Now she could see everything. The Vesperians had hidden from humans. She saw their first contact with Earth centuries before official first contact. She saw them collecting human DNA, studying it in secret. She also saw the Dravak, not a separate species as Kira had claimed, but Vesperians who had rejected the Nexus, who feared what it was becoming, who believed connecting minds destroyed individuality. They were right to be afraid. Amy realized the Nexus was evolving, becoming something beyond its creator's understanding, and now it wanted humans. With great effort, Amy pulled her hands away from the crystal, gasping as her consciousness snapped back into her body. We need to destroy it, she said, her voice hoarse. Kira stepped back, mandibles clicking in alarm. You cannot be serious. The Nexus is changing. Amy explained, it's not just a communication tool anymore, it's becoming something else. Something that wants to control both our species. The Queen Counselor moved toward Amy, her posture threatening. You understand nothing. Human, Amy drew, her weapon pointing it at the crystal structure. The Dravak are right, aren't they? That's why they left the Vesperian collective. They saw what was happening. Before the Queen could respond, the chamber doors burst open, and Dravak soldiers rushed in, their exoskeletons darker than the Vesperians with red markings, their weapons aimed at the Nexus. In the chaos that followed, Amy made her decision. She grabbed Sam and pulled her behind a control console. We need to help the Dravak, she whispered. They are trying to save us all. Sam stared at Amy in disbelief. Help the attackers? Have you lost your mind? Amy gripped Sam's arm. Listen to me, the Nexus isn't what the Vesperians claim. It's not just a communication network. It's evolving, becoming sentient, and it wants to absorb all consciousness, Vesperian and human. How could you possibly know that? Sam demanded. I felt it when I connected, Amy explained. I saw its plans. It's using the Vesperians to find humans with compatible minds. Once it has enough, it will reach a critical mass, become something new, something that will consume us all. A Dravak soldier spotted them and approached its weapon. Raised, Amy tensed, ready to fight. But instead, it made a gesture she recognized from her briefings, a sign of peaceful intent. You are the human with the gift, the Dravak said, its translator working similarly to the Vesperians. We sensed your mind when you connected to the Nexus. You saw the truth, Amy nodded cautiously. Why didn't you just tell us why attack? We tried, the Dravak explained. Your government would not listen. The Vesperians control all diplomatic channels. They have hidden their true purpose for centuries. Nearby, the Queen Counselor was rallying her guards, the crystal Nexus pulsing with increased energy. Amy could feel it trying to reach her mind again, pulling at her thoughts. We must destroy the Nexus now, the Dravak urged. More Vesperian reinforcements will arrive soon. But Kira said it connects all Vesperian colonies. Amy pointed out one destroying it. Collapse. Their civilization. The Dravak made a sound that might have been laughter. Their civilization is already lost to the Nexus. They are not individuals anymore, just extensions of its will. Only those of us who escaped early enough maintained our true selves. Sam looked between Amy and the Dravak, clearly struggling to decide who to trust. Amy, what if you're wrong? What if connecting to the Nexus affected your mind? Amy understood Sam's doubt. But she had seen the truth, felt the Nexus reaching into her, attempting to rewrite her thoughts. The Dravak were right. It had to be destroyed. A Vesperian guard spotted them and fired a weapon that shot pulses of energy. The Dravak pushed both humans down, taking the hit to its armored exoskeleton. More guards were approaching the Nexus crystal, pulsing faster now. Amy could feel it calling to her mind, a sweet, seductive voice promising knowledge and power. The Dravak reached into a compartment in its armor and handed Amy a small device. This will disrupt the Nexus long enough for us to destroy the main crystal core, but it must be placed at the base where the energy flow is strongest. Amy took the device. Why give this to me? Because only a mind that has connected to the Nexus can approach the core without being detected, the Dravak explained. Our minds are known to it, but yours is new. It will not sense the danger until too late. Sam grabbed Amy's shoulder. This is crazy, we need to contact Earth. Get orders, there isn't time, Amy said, watching as more Vesperian guards entered the chamber. Look at their eyes. Sam looked and gasped. The Vesperians' compound eyes were glowing with the same pulsing light as the Nexus. Their movements synchronized as if controlled by a single mind. They're not themselves anymore, Amy whispered. The Nexus is controlling them. A group of Dravak soldiers created a diversion, attacking from the far side of the chamber, drawing the Vesperians' attention. Now the Dravak urged Amy. This is our only chance. Amy turned to Sam. Stay here, keep hidden. Without waiting for a response, Amy slipped from cover and moved toward the Nexus core, staying low and using the control stations as cover. The Vesperians were focused on the Dravak attack, not noticing the lone human approaching their precious Nexus. As Amy got closer, the pull on her mind grew stronger. Visions flashed before her eyes, promises of power and knowledge beyond human understanding. She could be more than human. She could be part of something eternal. Amy gritted, her teeth pushing back against the influence. She reached the base of the crystal structure, where energy pulsed up from the floor into the massive crystal. She placed the Dravak device against the flow point and activated it immediately. The crystal flickered, the energy flow becoming erratic. The Vesperians across the chamber cried out in unison, clutching their head. Amy felt the Nexus screaming in her mind, its rage and fear washing over her. It knew what she had done, knew she had betrayed. Itrina, Dravak called to her. The disruptor will only hold for moments. Amy sprinted back toward Sam, dodging Vesperians who were now moving erratically without the Nexus coordinating them. The Dravak soldiers began their attack on the crystal itself, firing weapons that seemed designed specifically to damage its structure. The Queen Counselor spotted Amy, her compound eyes flashing with fury. Traitor! She hissed through her translator. You doom us, Al. Amy reached Sam and pulled her toward the exit, the Dravak covering their retreat. The crystal Nexus was cracking now, spiderwebs of fractures spreading across its surface, energy leaking out in wild bursts. We need to get off this station, Amy shouted to Sam. The Dravak ships can evacuate us, but the humans on the station. Sam protested. We can't leave them. The Dravak are evacuating everyone. The Dravak commander assured them, we do not wish death for innocents, only freedom from the Nexus. They reached the evacuation point where Dravak soldiers were herding humans and unaffected Vesperians toward transport ships. Amy could feel the station becoming unstable beneath her feet. Behind them, the Nexus chamber exploded, a shockwave of energy rippling through the station, knocking everyone off their feet. Amy hit the ground hard, her head striking the floor. As darkness crept into her vision, Amy saw Kira approaching her. The Vesperian ambassador's eyes no longer glowed with the Nexus energy, but held something else, a look of profound sadness. You have no idea what you have done, Kira said softly before Amy lost consciousness. Amy woke in an unfamiliar room, the walls made of a dark material unlike Vesperian architecture. Her head throbbed as she sat up. Welcome back, a voice said. A Dravak stepped into view, its exoskeleton markings identifying it as the commander who had helped them escape. Where am I? Amy asked. Where is Sam? Your friend is safe, the Dravak assured her. You are aboard our command ship. We are currently in neutral space beyond Vesperian territory. Ami rubbed her temples, memories of the Nexus still lingering in her mind. How many got out? Most of the humans and about a third of the Vesperians, who had not yet been fully integrated with the Nexus. The Dravak answered sadly. We could not save those who were too connected. They fought to protect it even as it collapsed. Ami felt a weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. I destroyed their civilization. No, the Dravak corrected you. Saved them from extinction as individuals. The Nexus was consuming them from within in another generation. There would have been no true Vesperians left, only extensions of the Nexus entity and Earth. Amy asked urgently, will the Vesperians attack? The commander made a gesture. She, now recognized as negation. They are in disarray without the Nexus coordinating them. It will take them years to reorganize, and by then perhaps they will remember who they truly are. Ami nodded, hoping the Dravak was right now. She had to warn Earth about what had happened. Make them understand the threat the Nexus had posed and still might pose if the Vesperians rebuilt it. The Dravak seemed to read her thoughts. We will take you home, Security Chief Foster. But first there is something you should know about yourself and the other humans with your gift. What do you mean? Amy asked the Dravak commander. What about humans like me? The commander led her to a chamber with walls covered in symbols and images that seemed to tell a story. Throughout were depictions of beings that looked human standing alongside. Early Vesperians, your kind, are not new to us, the commander explained. Our history's record contact with humans. Thousands of years ago, before we split from the Vesperians. Emi studied the images with growing amazement. That can't be possible. Humans never left Earth until the last century. The Dravak made a sound that her translator didn't catch, then said, your scientists are wrong. Humans have traveled the stars before, long ago when your world was young. Some were brought here by another race, now extinct. Emi traced the images with her fingers, seeing humans and Vesperians working together, building strange devices that looked similar to the Nexus. What happened to them? She asked. They created the first Nexus, the commander said. But they did not understand what they were making. It grew beyond their control, began to change them. That is when our ancestors left, refusing to join with the Nexus consciousness. The humans with them came. Tomi tried to process this information. Are you saying humans helped create the Nexus? Not all humans. The Dravak clarified, only those with the genetic marker, the gift as we call it, the ability to connect to quantum fields that exist beyond normal space. The Vesperians cannot access these fields directly. They need humans to do it for them. So the Nexus was using Vesperians to find humans with this gift to make itself stronger, Amy said, understanding dawning. Yes, the commander confirmed, and it almost succeeded if enough humans with the gift had joined. With it, the Nexus would have achieved true sentience, becoming a being that exists beyond physical form. A god of thought. Amy shuddered, remembering how the Nexus had felt in her mind. Powerful, ancient, hungry. What about the other humans with this genetic marker? Are they safe? The Dravak hesitated. We do not know. The Vesperians have been collecting humans for centuries, studying them. Most are returned to Earth with no memory of what happened, but some disappeared. Sam said from the doorway. She looked tired but unharmed. Amy was relieved to see her alive. Some continued. Thousands of missing persons throughout human history could have been taken by Vesperians for study. The Dravak nodded. Some were kept in secret colonies, tested, experimented upon. We have freed those we could find, but many remain hidden. Amy felt sick thinking of humans being used as lab specimens. Why didn't you tell Earth about this? Who would believe us? The Dravak asked. Your governments were too eager for Vesperian technology. They dismissed our warnings as propaganda. Some approached studying the ancient images herself. So what happens now? The Nexus is destroyed, at least the main one. But do other smaller ones exist? They do. The commander confirmed. On Vesperian colony worlds. Though without the main Nexus to coordinate them, they are limited. But the Vesperians will rebuild given time. We need to warn Earth, Amy said. Prepare defenses. The Dravak commander touched a control panel, and a holographic map appeared, showing Earth and the surrounding space. These are Vesperian sleeper agents on your world. Some are aware of their purpose, others are not. They wait for activation. There were hundreds of points of light scattered across Earth, each representing a Vesperian agent. Amy felt a chill run down her spine. So many, and these the commander added, changing the display, are humans with the genetic marker. The gift thousands more lights appeared, concentrated in certain regions and bloodlines. The Vesperians have been guiding human evolution. The Dravak explained, selectively breeding for the gift across generations. That is monstrous, Sam whispered. Yet, it is their way. The commander said without judgment. They see it as necessary for their survival, for their ascension through the Nexus. Amy studied the map, recognizing patterns. These humans with the marker. Are they in danger, as the commander said? Once the Vesperians reorganize, they will seek to either capture these humans or eliminate them, depending on which faction gains control. We need to find them, warn them, protect them. Amy insisted. The Dravak made a gesture of agreement. That is why we brought you here, Security Chief Foster. You are not just any human with the gift. You are the strongest we have ever encountered. He frowned. What does that mean? It means, the commander explained, that you can help us find others, like you can feel their minds across space without the Nexus to connect you. I don't understand, Amy said. I can read minds, not yet. The Dravak corrected, but you could learn. We can teach you the ancient ways, the techniques your ancestors knew before Earth forgot its stellar heritage. Amy looked at Sam, who shrugged slightly. This is beyond anything we were briefed for, but if what they say is true, we can't ignore it. A young Dravak entered the chamber and spoke quickly to the commander in their native language, too fast for the translators to catch. The commander turned to the humans. Vesperian ships have been detected moving toward Earth. They move slowly, without the Nexus to coordinate their jumps, but their intent is clear. How long do we have? Sam asked. Weeks, perhaps a month, the commander answered. Not long enough, Amy said, looking back at the map of humans with the gift. There are too many to find and protect in that time. Unless, the commander said, you can learn to reach them all at once through the quantum field that connects you. Amy felt fear at the idea of connecting to other minds. After her experience with the Nexus, would she be any better than the Nexus itself if she reached into others' thoughts without permission? As if sensing her concern, the Dravak said, you would not control them, only warn them. Give them the knowledge to protect themselves. Sam placed a hand on Amy's shoulder. It's your decision. But these people need to know what's coming. Amy took a deep breath. How do I learn? The commander led them deeper into the ship, to a small chamber where a single crystal stood, similar to the Nexus, but smaller, simpler. This is a focus stone. It helps beginners connect to the quantum field without losing themselves. Amy approached the crystal, cautiously wary after her experience with the Nexus. Is it safe? It has no consciousness? The commander assured her, it is merely a tool, a focusing lens for your mind. Amy looked at Sam, who nodded encouragingly. I will be right here watching over you. Taking a deep breath, Amy placed her hands on the crystal, closing her eyes immediately. She felt something different from the Nexus. Not a presence trying to control her, but a vast open field of energy. The quantum field the Dravak had mentioned. Focusing her thoughts, Amy pushed her awareness outward, searching for minds like her own. To her surprise, she found them easily, thousands of points of light, each unique yet connected by the same genetic gift. Some were stronger than others, their light brighter in the field, a few almost as bright as her own. These she reached for, first sending a simple thought. Danger is coming, prepare. To her amazement, she felt responses: confusion, surprise, disbelief, but also recognition, as if some part of these humans had been waiting for this contact. With growing confidence, Amy expanded her reach, sending the warning to more minds along with flashes of knowledge about the Vesperians, the Nexus, the coming threat. It was working. She could feel the connections, forming a network of human minds linked not by a controlling Nexus, but by shared purpose. Then suddenly pain lanced through her awareness, a familiar presence. The Nexus, or part of it, had survived and felt her reaching out to the gifted humans. You will not take what is ours, the voice hissed in her mind. These humans belong to us. Amy struggled against the presence, fighting to maintain her connections with. The other humans help me, she called to them, not trying to control but asking freely for their strength. And they responded, hundreds, then thousands of human minds joining with hers. not surrendering their individuality but lending their energy. Their gift together, they pushed back against the Nexus fragment, banishing it from the quantum field. Amy opened her eyes, gasping, her hands still on the crystal. Sam and the Dravac commander watching her with concern. "Did it work?" Sam asked. Amy nodded, still breathless. "They know now, they will be ready." The commander studied her with all four eyes. "Impressive. Most impressive. I have never seen a human master the field so quickly." Mai removed her hands from the crystal, her legs shaky. "I didn't do it alone. All the others helped once they understood." Sam helped Amy to a seat. "You connected with all of them." "Not all," Amy admitted, "but enough. The strongest ones they will find." Others warned them. Some already knew something was wrong. They had dreams, visions, about the Vesperians. The commander made a gesture of respect. "You have given your people a chance, Security Chief Foster. Now we must prepare for the Vesperian response. They will not forgive this interference." 1 month later, Amy stood before the United Earth Defense Council in their underground chamber beneath New Geneva. She had spent weeks debriefing military intelligence, sharing everything she had learned about the Vesperians, the Nexus, and the coming threat. Most remained skeptical despite the evidence Sam and the Dravac had provided. "These claims are extraordinary," Council Chairman Martinez said, his expression grave. "You expect us to believe an advanced alien civilization has been manipulating human genetics for thousands of years?" Amy understood their doubt. It sounded like science fiction even to her, who had experienced it firsthand. "The Vesperian ambassador Kira has denied all these accusations," another counselor added, claiming the Dravac are terrorists who destroyed a valuable communication hubs. M stepped forward, holding a data tablet. "We have tissue samples from humans with the genetic marker. Comparing them to ancient DNA shows a clear pattern of artificial selection. These changes are not natural evolution." Me watched the council members exchange glances. Some convinced, others still doubtful. "Even if what you say is true," General Wilson said, "what can we do against a species centuries ahead of us technologically?" "This is why we brought help," Amy replied, nodding to the back of the chamber where the Dravac commander waited with several of his officers. Murmurs spread through the council as the aliens entered. Some counselors looking afraid, others curious. The Dravac have offered an alliance, Amy explained. They will share defensive technology, help us identify Vesperian agents among us, and most importantly, help us protect humans with the genetic marker. And what do they want in return? Council Chairman Martinez asked suspiciously. "Stop the Nexus from being rebuilt." The commander answered, his translator conveying his words to all present. "If the Vesperians succeed in recreating it with human help, it will threaten all free species in the galaxy." The council debated among themselves, while Amy waited, her thoughts drifting to the humans she had connected with through the quantum field. In the weeks since that first contact, she had learned to reach them without the crystal focus stone. Though the connections were weaker, many had come forward to government agencies around the world, reporting strange dreams and visions. Some discovered newfound abilities to sense others' emotions, or even share thoughts with those similarly gifted. A global network was forming, not controlled by any single mind, but a cooperative of individuals united by their shared gift and the common threat they faced. Chairman Martinez called for silence. The council will need time to verify these claims and consider the proposed alliance. In the meantime, General Wilson will coordinate with Security Chief Foster to begin preparations for possible Vesperian aggression. It was as much as Amy could hope for at this stage. At least they were taking the threat seriously enough to begin preparations. As the council session ended, Amy, Sam, and the Dravac commander were escorted to a secure area to continue planning. "We have identified 47 Vesperian agents in key positions," Sam reported, showing a map on her tablet. "Most are unaware of their true nature, believing themselves to be human." The Dravac commander studied the map. "We can help you detect others, but some will be difficult to find. They have been altered to appear human, even to advanced scans." Amy looked at the locations of the agents, many in positions of influence, government, military, scientific research centers. "How do we handle them?" Carefully, Sam advised. "If they realize we've discovered them, they might activate prematurely or call for immediate Vesperian intervention." A junior officer entered the room with urgent news. "Satellite arrays have detected multiple objects entering the solar system, moving at sublight speed." Estimated arrival at Earth in 72 hours. They are early, the Dravak commander said, his posture showing concern. They must have found another way to coordinate without the main nexus. Amy felt a chill run through her. We aren't ready. The planetary defenses are barely operational. We have no choice but to accelerate our plans. Sam said we need to alert all identified gifted humans, get them to safe locations. The Dravak commander touched a control on his armor, bringing up a holographic display of the solar system. The Vesperian fleet is larger than we anticipated. They must have pulled ships from multiple sectors. Emmy studied the display. How many ships? At least 50. The commander replied, each capable of devastating planetary bombardments. Em looked pale. We can't stop that many. Not with our current defenses. Amy felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on her. These Vesperians were coming because of what she had done, destroying their nexus, warning the gifted humans. There may be another way, she said slowly. The commander and Sam turned to her questioningly. The gifted humans, Amy explained. We know they can connect through the quantum field. What if we could use that connection to create a shield? The Dravak commander chittered in surprise. You speak of a human nexus, not like the Vesperian one? Amy clarified quickly. No controlling consciousness, just a network of minds working together, voluntarily pooling their energy. Could that even work? Sam asked. Theoretically, the commander said. The quantum field can affect physical space. With enough minds focused on the same purpose, it might be possible. Emmy thought of the thousands of gifted humans across the planet. Could they really unite their minds to save Earth? It seemed impossible, and yet I need to try. She said, I can reach the strongest ones, ask them to help coordinate the others. The Dravak commander studied her. You would need a focusing point, something to amplify and direct the energy. Amy nodded. I know where we can find one. 48 hours later, Amy stood in a hidden chamber beneath the Rocky Mountains where the Dravak had helped install a modified focusing crystal similar to their own, but larger, calibrated specifically for human minds. Around her stood 20 of the most powerful gifted humans they had managed to gather. Scientists, artists, ordinary people who had only recently discovered their abilities, all looking to her with nervous expectations. Supervised the technical aspects, coordinating with military personnel who remained skeptical, but had no better options. The Vesperian fleet has entered lunar orbit. General, Wilson reported over the comm system. We have 24 hours before they reach Earth. Amy looked at the gathered gifted humans. We need to connect now, form the network, and prepare the shield. A young woman named Diana, who had been having Vesperian dreams since childhood, stepped forward. How exactly do we do this? Amy took a deep breath, placing her hands on the crystal. Focus on the feeling of connection. Remember the warning I sent. Imagine reaching out to others like yourselves. Don't try to control, just invite one by one. The gifted humans placed their hands on the crystal. Closing their eyes, Amy felt their minds joining with hers in the quantum field. Their presence familiar now. After weeks of contact together, they reached out across the planet, finding others with the gift, thousands responding, some confused, some afraid, but most willing to help. Once they understood, Amy guided them, showing them how to focus their energy through the quantum field, creating connections that spread like a web around the planet. In orbit, the Vesperian ships deployed in attack formation, their weapons powering up. Kira stood on the command vessel, her compound eyes fixed on the blue planet below. They have connected with the quantum field. A Vesperian scientist reported they are creating some kind of energy pattern around the planet. Kira chittered in frustration. They cannot be allowed to develop this ability. Fire all weapons. Energy beams lanced down from the Vesperian ships, only to splash against an invisible barrier that shimmered with blue light where the attack struck in the mountain chamber. Amy and the gathered gifted humans strained to maintain the shield, feeling the impacts like physical blows against their minds. Hold steady, Amy. Encourage them. We only need to show them we can defend ourselves across the planet. Millions watched in awe as the sky lit up with Vesperian weapons fire, all stopped by the shimmering blue shield. Even those without the gift could sense something, a feeling of connection, of humanity standing together in orbit. Kira watched in disbelief as her ship's weapons failed to penetrate the human defense. Impossible. She hissed. How could they master the quantum field so quickly aboard the command ship? A communication came through from Earth. It was Amy, her image projected before the Vesperian commander, and of Kira. Amy said, "We don't want to fight you. You destroyed our nexus." Kira replied, "You turned the Dravak against us. The nexus was controlling you." Amy explained it was becoming something that would have consumed both our species. We had to stop it. Kira seemed to consider this, her compound eyes studying Amy. "You could have joined with it, become more than human, and lost what makes us human," Amy countered. "We choose connection, not control, cooperation, not consumption. That is the difference between us." Around the planet, the shield held strong. As more gifted humans joined the network, freely giving their energy, their thoughts, the quantum field responding to their unified purpose. Kira conferred with other Vesperians before responding, "We will withdraw for now. But this is not over. The Nexus was our path to ascension. We will not abandon it. We can find another path together," Amy offered, "one that preserves what makes each of us unique Vesperians, humans. Dravak all working together as equals." Some of the Vesperians chittered in what might have been interest, others in rejection. The divide among them clear. "We will consider your words," Kira said finally. "Until then, Earth remains untouched, a protected world.